I was just about to go live and do a fight night stream, but I just got some massive news, and that is Charles Oliveira and Islam Makhachev, the rematch. It's going to be going down for the first pay-per-view of 2024 this January in Canada. And I was thinking that we were about to get a Megalodon title fight between Mario Bueno Silva and Raquel Pennington, and I have to say, I'm a little bit disappointed that that's not going to be the main event, okay? Now, of course, I'm just bullshitting. I was praying that that wasn't going to be the main event, and I think that the UFC would never do that to the Canadian fans, even though they gave them Nunes last time. But Charles is going back to Canada, all right? And he's got a lot of good memories from Canada, okay? Or at least one, his most recent memory from Canada, which was that knockout over Beneil Dariush. I think other than that, he's fought there a few times and he's lost. But there's no way I'm going to pick Charles Oliveira in this fight. And I'm really happy that this fight's going down, because that means that Volk still gets some more time. Okay, Volkanovski has more time on his hands to recover. So us Volk fans, guys, it's time to rejoice. It means that Volkan Topuria is off, and it's probably not going to happen until UFC 300, which for Volkanovski, once again, is going to give him a better chance to beat Ilia Topuria now that he gets more time to recover from that devastating KO, okay? But let's talk about Makhachev and Oliveira. I love myself Islam Makhachev winter fight because Khabib, I mean, let's be honest, Khabib was so inactive compared to Makhachev. Remember how a lot of us were starting to get antsy with Makhachev because he only fought in February and it took him forever to come back? But now if we're really looking at his schedule, Charles Oliveira last October, Volkanovski twice this year, and Charles Oliveira in January, that's damn near 4 fights in 1 year. I mean, we got to give it to Makhachev. He is so active. And if you're one of these Khabib fans that's just clinging on to Khabib's legacy and just hoping and praying that he's going to go down as the lightweight GOAT, Makhachev's activity is going to shut all of that down because he's got himself a head start. And if he beats Charles, you know how I always say that Volkanovski's wins over Max Holloway is really impressive? Well, beating Charles a few times is just as good, but then he's got 2 wins over the guy that beat Max Holloway a bunch of times. And Volkanovski, he will be the lightweight GOAT if he beats Charles Oliveira, and he will, in my opinion, go into the top 5 all-time and pass Khabib on the all-time list with this win. And I don't even think this is his last hurrah at lightweight because he's still got a Justin Gaethje fight on his horizon, okay? And I know that he's talked about going to welterweight, but I think that Islam Makhachev, if he wins this, he'll probably fight Justin Gaethje next, and that'll be the end of his chapter at lightweight because let's be honest, what other lightweight contenders are there? Everyone talks about lightweight being the super stacked division, but outside of the top 5, which is a Shark Tank, it's kind of the land of the dinosaurs and the disappointments, to be honest. Fiziev, Gamrot, Arman Tsarukyan, we'll see what he can do because that is a rematch that some people want to see. But if he gets schooled by Beneil Dariush, and I think that that's probably going to happen, there's no way we're going to see an Arman Tsarukyan and Islam Makhachev rematch. And even if we did see that rematch, Pillow Hands Arman is not going to give Makhachev trouble. This is a lot, man. This is a lot for Charles. This is a last-ditch effort. I still think that if he loses this fight, maybe he can go on to become a champion because let's be honest, as I had mentioned, Fiziev, Gamrot, Arman Tsarukyan, Beneil Dariush, Gaethje, right? I mean, Gaethje's good, but like Charles has already beat him. When Makhachev leaves that division, Charles can probably get his belt back. So that's good for Charles, but he'll always be 0-2 to Makhachev. My prediction for this fight is going to be Islam Makhachev by KO, all right, or a TKO. And the reason I'm going to pick Makhachev, it's no secret. He just keeps getting better with his defense and his offense as well. What is the difference that we saw from Makhachev in his last outing versus the Charles Oliveira fight, okay? And you could even bring up the Volkanovski fight, which was different than the Oliveira fight. In my opinion, it was the fact that he's now moving forward a whole lot more, and he's now still able to maintain his defense. He's still able to stay safe with a high guard. He's still the same imposing guy, but now we see him moving forward and actually putting people on the back foot, and that's exactly what he did to Volkanovski at UFC 294, in which Volk had talked about it after the fight. He said he was hesitant. He wasn't throwing. He kept saying, I'm going to go, I'm going to go, I'm going to go, and he never ended up doing that. But Makhachev was keeping him on the outside with these long, rangy kicks. And that's what Charles can do, but now Makhachev can do it as well. And if you think about Oliveira's performance the first time, he couldn't land a fucking finger on Islam Makhachev's chin. He had no success in the striking at all. The grappling was the competitive part. I think the grappling's always going to be competitive. But if you really just combine the defense of Makhachev with this new ability that he has to move forward and offensively strike and put people on the back foot, and he's also a KO threat on the feet, and he's also a head kick threat, there's just so much to worry about. He also has that extra boost of confidence knowing that he's schooled Oliveira on the feet before. He just KO'd one of the best strikers we've ever seen in Alexander Volkanovski. And let's be honest about that first fight that he had with Volk. He weighed the same amount in the cage. And I know that people talked about, well, if Volk was, the same size as Makhachev, he would have beat his ass, but they literally weighed the same in the cage. The only difference was Volkanovski was a little bit more refreshed, Makhachev a little bit more drained, and I think that led to a lot of the success that Volk had on the feet, all right? And I think it took a lot of the sting off of Makhachev's shots. Now he's going to be big. Okay, I don't know the window that he has, the window of time that he has between weigh-ins in Canada and the night of the fight, but I'm guessing it's going to be more than he had in Perth. All right. And as I said about Charles, man, he really was way too patient when he fought Makhachev the first time. And a lot of people tried to be smart alecky with me and tried to tell me that Charles, he wasn't patient. He was actually too aggressive. No, he wasn't too aggressive. And if you're trying to tell me that Charles should go out there and be patient Oliveira, I'm going to ask you what the hell you're smoking. Okay. Because when the heck has Charles Oliveira ever had any success being patient? Patient Oliveira. I'm tired of the bullshit, man. I'm tired of hearing that silly take. Charles needs to move forward, get in Makhachev's face, and blitzkrieg him, and do something to him and get off with some shots before Makhachev can make any reads or get any kind of groove going in the fight. All right? Because he's already super defensively sound. You need to go out there and blitzkrieg him. If Charles doesn't run across the octagon and chuck a big right hand in his face, I really do think he's going to get schooled again. And I'm sick and tired of all these people saying patient Oliveira. He's going to be a little bit more patient this time and play at range. What the fuck are you talking about, man? Again, when has Charles ever had success being patient? He needs to go out there, be super aggressive. The issue with Makhachev is, at this point, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Okay, if you don't and you're going to be hesitant like Volkanovski was last time, now Makhachev can move forward. Now he can pressure people, put them on the back foot, and start to pick them apart and set things up. Like he did with that head kick, going to the body with the front kicks and the legs as well. And he just starts to make his reads. And if you're too aggressive, well, congratulations, he's going underneath you for a takedown. Or congrats, man, he's going to catch you with that piston of a left hook that he has, or the left hand. And I just really think that this is a lot for Charles. Silver lining, though, for Oliveira is Makhachev's been planning to move up. I mean, think about it like this. As I had mentioned, all the guys that are in that division, Arman Tsarukyan, Beneil Dariush, Sluggy Man Beneil. Beneil's, let's be honest, that was light work for Charles. Gaethje, I know Gaethje's improved, but like, come on, man. That's just a bad matchup for him. He goes to the ground once with Charles. He's screwed. Dustin Poirier, I mean, if Islam Makhachev moves up, it's looking like Charles is going to get the belt back. So there is the silver lining for Oliveira fans. I don't see anyone else in the division challenging him other than maybe Gaethje, but I do think that Makhachev will fight Justin Gaethje after this as a final goodbye to his lightweight career. Go out with a bang. Vitor Petrino just got a knockout, and I missed the punch. Guys, I'm going to start my live stream soon, but the good news for Charles is that he's got to worry about people like Arman, Pelahan's Arman, and Rafael Fiziev after, and I think that these are guys that he can take on because there really are massive gaps in that lightweight division, right? I thought Beneil Dariush was this highly elite fighter, and he's very good. I'm not writing Beneil Dariush off. I'm picking him to beat Arman. He's a great fighter, but Charles showed levels. Charles showed levels with Gaethje. Charles showed levels with Poirier. It's just that Makhachev's out here showing levels with Volk. And there's that next level in this division. So, yeah, guys, I'm going to pick Makhachev to TKO Charles Oliveira. I think he's going to probably catch him with a head kick or a left hand. I think if he goes to the ground with him, that's where it'll be most competitive. But we saw last time Charles wasn't able to mount off any offense. We didn't see those same kind of slicey elbows from Charles Oliveira on bottom when he was fighting Islam Makhachev. I know he did that to Beneil Dariush, but Makhachev had him pinned down. So I'm going to be going with Makhachev to knock Charles out. Again, Charles is this kill or be killed kind of guy. He's either going to get the finished or he's going to get finished, and I'm picking him to get finished. What do you think in the comments? Until next time.